forward, I am going to be talking about spoilers for episode 1 and 2 of The Acolyte. So please be warned, this is your exit point if you don't want, key plot points being spoiled. Although, to be honest, there's not too much to spoil that we haven't really seen. But again, I will not be holding back. So this is your final warning. Let's get into it. If you don't want spoilers, I do have a spoiler free review that you can check out here. Hello there, troopers, and welcome back to General Economics Bunker. Thank you so much for joining me here on this spoiler review. Hey there, troopers, so we just did a little quick check-in for the media badge that we got for today's screening. They actually gave us a little coupon for popcorn and a drink. I don't know if that's ever happened, but hey, I'm gonna use it for sure. Let's check it out. I just got back from the theater like an hour ago from watching the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. I was lucky enough to get into an early screening at a local theater here. Thanks to Fandango, by the way, for putting that together. It's kind of crazy because only 4 theaters in Texas were showing it, and one of them was here in San Antonio and very close to the house, about 15 minutes away. So I had to be there. So we actually start off right away with the fight between Trinity and our dark assassin, which, let's be honest, we all know who that is now. Her name is May, and she's a twin. Okay, I'm sorry, that was spoiled by Lucasfilm. Don't blame me. That was spoiled by them and the actress, a while back. So no surprises there. The fight, is very well choreographed. Of course, is very, very cool. And I think, it's been spoiled already since before the show comes out. But she actually succeeds in killing a Trinity. So that kind of sets you off, into a tone of the show, right? Like right away. The May, the dark assassin, let's call her. She's a little bit weird. She has this almost like a challenge you to a duel type of thing that she goes up to Trinity to. This is Carrie Ann Moss' character, by the way. To like challenge her, right, to fight her, and then she provokes the fight. She puts her in a bad spot between saving, an innocent bystander or keep fighting. She chooses to save the bystander, and that's when she gets the kill shot, I guess. And then we basically break off to a person that looks exactly like her, which is, of course, her twin sister, Osha, who is on a freighter run by the Trade Federation, by the way. So it was very cool to see Nemodians again. A very cool callback to episode 1. So they look really good, by the way, too. So she's basically a mechanic. Since there was a witness, to the murder, the Jedi show up and, basically arrest her, right? Back on Coruscant, which looks very familiar, right, to the Coruscant we all know and love. But the Jedi Temple is actually a lot cleaner. Like, it looks shinier. I think it's got a lot more gold details on the outside. And something that I like is that it actually seems to be a little bit higher than what the city level is. So I'm assuming in the following, 100, 130 years, the city just kept growing, right, and sort of caught up to the temple. But they do a good job on some of the scenes of showing you something that you've seen before, right, like the temple, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, but at the same time making it a little bit different, enough that you're not in the same prequel era, for example. So I thought that was cool. We get Master Soul, who is, I would say, very much centric in these 2 episodes. We get a lot of screen time with Master Soul. He's teaching younglings. Master Vernara comes in, who also comes out quite a bit, by the way, and basically tells them about the situation and that they got the suspect, who is Osha. And he's like, okay, well, I gotta go, turn her in, all that stuff. So, but it seems that while she was captured, right, being transported in a prison ship, Osha, actually, the other inmates stage an escape. They kind of leave her behind, which was not nice, and she crashes in a nice planet, right? And that's where now Master Soul and his new Padawan and another Jedi Knight are basically going out to find her. While she's there, sort of unconscious type of thing, she kind of has a vision, right, of her sister as they were when they were kids. She actually gets to ask her sister in the vision if she killed the Jedi Master, to which she says yes, and her eyes, turn black. So that was cool. So that's kind of how she knows that her sister is still active, right? Even though it was like a vision type of thing. So the Jedi catch up to her. That's when we see, the scene when she falls and Master Soul, stops her. By the way, I do have to bring up that is something very cool for this new portrayal of the Jedi. They are very fast with the Force, when it comes to pushing and pulling, and they integrate it into their fighting style. Which, by the way, the fights are heavily choreographed. They're very kung fu style, but I like that they integrate the Force. Instead of punching somebody, they'll force push them like close range and basically send them out, flying. It is cool to see, how I guess how the fighting style, right, of the Jedi is at this point. Again, very flashy, very visual, very very cool. And so anyway, they Master Soul and Osha come to the same conclusion that it is her sister, whom apparently was presumed dead in a fire, like what is it, like 16 years ago. And Master Soul says that he saw her die. Osha says that she saw her die, but also that May is the cause of that fire that killed her entire family apparently. And so yeah, some we didn't get a flashback actually for that, so I thought that was a little bit strange. The end of the episode one, we get to see the I'm just gonna call it the Sith Lord. So we basically get the masked figure that we've been seeing on the promotionals, standing kind of far away, talking to May and saying, how an acolyte can kill the dream and how the Jedi reside on lies, and he ignites his red lightsaber. So again, I think we're pretty sure that that's the one we've been seeing in the trailers and in the promotional videos. And that was it for episode one, really. It kind of ends, on that. For episode two, we move on to a local Jedi temple in another planet where May, is on to her next target. And there we see Kamir, who is sort of like I don't know, like he basically concocts a poison for her. So basically, what she did is she infiltrated the Jedi Temple and she tried to murder this Jedi Master specifically, who is actually levitating, and it seems to be in a deep state of meditation. He won't move, he won't talk, he doesn't even open his eyes, but he is surrounded by the Force in sort of like encased in a bubble. So it was a very cool scene because, of course, she tries to stab him and punch him and stuff, and she's just hitting bricks. It's just like an invisible wall, literally. She tries jumping over him and falling down, different angles of attack, and nothing works. So that was very cool to see. Pretty original. I don't think we've seen that before, especially not in live action, of course. And so she goes to Kamir and says like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to use a poison." And Kamir is surprisingly insightful at sort of how she should approach the attack. So it's not too far fetched, the theories that he might be the I guess the masked Sith Lord, let's call him, or the masked guy with a red lightsaber. Because yeah, he was pretty eloquent when it came to sort of how to approach, battling the Jedi. And apparently he knows kind of the design of the Master, which the ultimate test apparently is for May to kill a Jedi without any weapons. And she says, "I will get there, but not with this one, right? This dude is too strong. I have to, use sort of like use the poison." And he's like, "Well, try to give him, the absolution he's looking for." So anyway, around this time is when our heroes, I guess, Master Soul and them, George, Jackie, and Osha show up to that same planet, right? Because the previous night when May tried to kill the Jedi Master, she set off all kinds of alarms. And so now they're in high state. They reported to Coruscant. These guys show up. And while they're there, May is actually talking, not fighting, but talking to the Jedi Master, again, who is levitating. And she tells him, basically, I will forgive you, and I give you your absolution. And she just sets down the poison flask. So he actually opens his eyes, comes down from the levitation, grabs the vial, and she just tells her, "We thought we were doing the right thing." and he drinks it, which is nuts. All right, I don't think we've ever seen a Jedi unalive himself, in such a calm fashion. So he's out, and then the sister, Osha, shows up, and everybody kind of thinks that it's her that did it, but not really, because the Yord was actually following her, so he saw the whole thing, that the Jedi Master was already dead. But in this episode, we learn that May is going after 4 Jedi Masters: Master Indara, Trinity, who she took out the first few minutes of episode 1. This Jedi Master, who I don't remember his name, sorry, but I've only saw it, once. And Master Soul, who is, of course, Osha's former master, and Kelnaka. Yes, the Wookiee, the Jedi Wookiee. So that's the hit list. She's down too, right? So she only has Master Soul and Kelnaka. So they do this sort of like sting operation to get Kamir to turn her in, right, or to get more information. They sent Osha, sort of disguised to pass as May, and Kamir, at the beginning, he seems like he's falling for it, but he sees right through her. So again, this dude is pretty intelligent. Okay, he's pretty funny too, by the way. He got a couple of laughs out of me with some of his lines. But the point is that he tells them that May is coming back that night, so they should set up a trap. They do that. Master Soul and May finally fight, and it turns out that May thought that Osha was dead. So they both thought that the other sister was dead. So it's interesting, definitely, of course, I think we'll explore that later on. Master Soul, of course, tries to get information on who her master is. Doesn't work out. He reads her mind at one point during the fight, and he's like, "You don't even know who your master is, right? Like, you couldn't even tell me if you wanted to." And anyway, she manages to escape. And really the end of the episode shows us Kelnaka living sort of in an isolated planet, and some like poachers trying to steal some of his stuff, and he just like force pulls the weapon from one of them and like snaps it in two and like roars in Wookiee, and they run off, and that's it. That's really it for episode 2. So overall, fun episodes, episode 1 and 2. Like I said, the fighting is really nice, very well choreographed. But I think we all knew that because we keep seeing them on the spots. So it's not a surprise per se. We do get to see the masked figure, red lightsaber, which I think everybody knew we were gonna get to see at least a little bit. No real cameos. That we didn't foresee, which is fine. It's barely the first 2 episodes. I did like actually that they just got the twin stuff like out of the way, like in the first few minutes of the episode, because we all knew it was gonna happen. Again, Lucasfilm kind of spoiled it, themselves. So I'm glad that was kind of like done out in the open very early on. Visually, it looks great. A lot of practical effects have gone into this. It shows. Again, I was lucky to see it on the big screen, so a lot of it translates very well. It was very well, very cinematic. So, fun episodes. Off to a strong start. I think so. I think it's different enough, but it still has some good, core Star Wars in it. It was cool to see how many different Jedis, in different temples even. That was cool. So yeah, I'm very excited to see sort of this new era, where it goes, what other new stuff they can show us. Because actually, I forgot to mention, they basically show us new planets all over. I think the only one that we do know is Coruscant, and we're not there, more than a few minutes. So I thought that was cool. The ships look cool. You will recognize, some of them, especially the Jedi ships from the High Republic. And no Yoda, okay, or not yet anyway. Not even a mention, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, overall good. I think the real challenge is going to be how they close the show, how they close the season, right? We got 6 more episodes to go. So I really hope they can finish strong. And that is going to do it for our spoiler review, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for checking it out. Like I said, I just really wanted to record this as soon as I could while it was still kind of fresh in my memory. Thank you to Fandango for letting us see this 2 episodes early. Appreciate it. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Do you think the Acolyte is the next big thing that's gonna save Star Wars? I don't know about that, but I think it's got a lot of potential. So I really hope they can make good use of it, honestly. Also, do not forget to leave your like on this video, subscribe if you haven't, thank you so much if you already have, and don't forget we are actually having a giveaway, so check out the community tab here on YouTube on how to enter. Thanks again, and may the force be with you.